From air to roads and railways, there has been a mega connectivity boost in India under the aegis of the multi-ministry Gati Shakti Yojana. The railways has received a major facelift with the 10 Vande Bharat routes which have been inaugurated till now. The Prime Minister yesterday unveiled the two latest routes from Mumbai to Solapur and Mumbai to Shirdi. The expressway network in India too has been developing at a rapid pace. In this broadcast, we discuss the changing face of India, the connectivity boost, and how this will also contribute to economic growth and uniform development. Joining us on the show at this point in time is noted economist Dr. Sharad Kohli. Also with us on the show is Mr. Pranay Agarwal, political analyst. Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst, also joins us on the show. And last but not the least, Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, with us on the platform as well. Dr. Kohli, I'd like to begin with you. Well, your thoughts on this rapid pace with which the Indian infrastructure is being modernized?
Well, you set the right tone, Vineet, by giving the American example for that matter. And I think we are heading in that direction. The next decade, for this very reason, is going to be India's decade. That is once we'll be ready with all these road infrastructure, we'll be ready with highways, our railways will be modernized. We would have airport connectivity, we would have all the logistics support which the country needs to move forward. You know, I can imagine if all these initiatives were done 20 years ago by the former government, you know, you can imagine where we have reached by today. But
the momentum has built to more or less the second stage of reforms and the great leap forward where the aspiration is that we will become, without a doubt, a developed country. When we talk of $10 trillion or more, we talk of becoming the third biggest economy. All of this was a pipe dream a few years ago. If people said it, you would have to ask for some kind of mental help for the people who did say it. But now this is the case.
It is concerns for environmental protection because it also will be a source of increased vehicular pollution and construction debris. Right? So alongside infrastructure push, we also need to ensure, and where the government has been slightly lacking, a shift towards, say, electric cars and more, greener fuels, bio CNG, CNG, etc. Vineet.
Absolutely. Rajalakshmi, Pranay raises a very important point. We are talking about the advancement, we are talking about the progress, but at the same time, this has to be matched up with responsibility as well. India perhaps has, the least amount of electric cars today in the entire world, and that is something which the government is hell-bent on changing, but the pace is perhaps a little slow.
Good evening, Vineet, and thank you for taking this up, because this is something that obviously this is going to push, this issue is going to push India much forward, hopefully. And very rightly, Pranay ji has raised this issue of using cleaner fuels and going green. So what I just want to point out is Mr. Nitin Gadkari is somebody who has always been in the he's been a front runner for sustainability. Now I have myself been a part of some events where we have actually promoted sustainability, and he has always been a huge supporter. So he has always been looking for sustainable materials, even in the construction of roads and even this planting of trees by the side of the expressways, etc. So he does have this sensitivity towards going green and towards sustainability. So sustainability is not just about planting trees, but it incorporates a whole lot of things. Now, there have been some great points put across by Dr. Sharad Kohli and by Mr. Mukherjee also. So, this entire shift in this process, actually, if you see that there is this great vision where, PM Modi ji, he has been talking about this Gati Shakti, which is not just about expressways or about metros or about Vande Bharat trains. It's about bringing together 16 ministries. And this, I think, was completely lacking. This vision was completely lacking because, every time whenever a road was to be laid or some infrastructure work was to be done, that road was, after that work is done, some other department comes and digs up the road, and one service after the other is taken up, and there was a complete lack of coordination. That has been the story all over the country all these years. So this, I think, this thing of putting together all the ministries, 16 ministries have been brought together, including railways and roadways, and even they have brought together some clusters like textile clusters, pharmaceutical clusters, ports, and all these things have been brought together so that they can work comprehensively. They can put together everything, and there is a digital mapping. So all of them, even all the states, they put together all of these data on, they map it digitally so that everyone is aware of what exactly is happening, and they have all the data immediately at the fingertips. So that is making a huge difference in making sure that there is no wastage of time and material and resources. And again, it also creates so many jobs. And even for as a small example, even something like this Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, now this small section that is to be inaugurated, that is going to cause a difference of 1.5 hours between Delhi and Jaipur. So something that was taking say 5 hours, if you can reduce it to 3.5 hours, just imagine there is a huge difference in the kind of pollution that is caused, due to the travel, and even in the precious travel time. And again, another thing that Gadkariji was speaking about, over the years is the progress of a country is not when people are able to use rich cars, but then when even rich people are able to use public transport, and that too comfortably. That, I think, is a big shift. So that shows a progressive nation. So when you have good roads and public transport that can be used by a whole large section of people, not just by people who can't afford cars, I think that will make a complete change in attitude. So this is not just about adding a few roads or adding a few expressways or adding a few trains every year. It's about a complete shift in this attitude where you make sure that everything, there is this holistic approach. That, I think, is the beauty of this thing of Gati Shakti. So and it also involves satellites. It also involves ISRO. It involves a whole lot of things, even defense. So this infrastructure along the LAC and the LOC that I always have been telling you about, that has also been completely ignored all these years. So this complete shift in infrastructure, along with the other ministries also, I think that is a huge step toward taking our country much, much ahead. And that too, I think it is definitely giving it a lot of gati. Gati is speed, of course. So I think that it will definitely go a long way, Vineet.
All right. Well, Dr. Kohli, Rajalakshmi has made an important point, and so has Pranay. This development and this gati that we've been speaking of, it also has to come with a realization for the citizens as well. You can have good infrastructure, you can have good roads, you can have all the amenities that a state and a nation has to offer, but at the same time educating people on how to use them, educating people on how to basically take care of them is also another important undertaking. Because
absolutely, I think Rajalakshmi made a very, very important point, because this Gati Shakti business, coordination between ministers. We've seen files being lying here and there, file being tossed away from one ministry to other. Abhi to isme saath sadak khodna hai, power department se approval aayega, abhi to PWD se aayega, wo dusra zila hai, all sorts of things were happening. But apart from the delays, I would like to inform Rajalakshmi also, apart from the delays, the will to do it was also missing. Because if the will to do it was there, then there could have been a Gati Shakti kind of a thing done earlier. I hope Rajalakshmi would agree with me that the will to make the country progress, the will was to make our family progress. The will was to fill up your coffers in Switzerland or other places. I'm sorry, I'm being very direct.
Right, Rajalakshmi, quickly, 10 seconds, please. Well, couple of lines, that's it.
Yeah, Vineet, I would say that, when it comes to construction, you cannot have a one-size-fits-all. So you will need a better research to make sure that the construction material is suitable to that place, so that you don't have things like potholes. Another thing is better coordination between the states and the different ministries, in between the states also. And the final thing would be Jan Bhagidari that PM Modi ji always speaks about, which obviously will involve responsibility taken by the citizens themselves to make sure that the infrastructure that the government has built lasts longer than what is expected. So I think that these three things will
All right,
go
great
towards
points. Great points there, Rajalakshmi. In fact, great points from all of our panel.